going on, you guys? How you guys doing? What's going on? Dogg, Anti-Imperial the Chill here. That's my recording name. I'm a recording artist. One name, Dogg, Anti-Imperial the Chill, three personalities. Dogg is kind of like the thug. He's a little bit gangster and things like that, but he's kind of sexually explicit, but he's a clown, likes to have fun and things like that. That's Dogg. Anti-Imperial is the second term of the name, the second part of the name. Anti-Imperial's all about upliftment, international political science, education, unity, political, world history, micro and macro economics. What's going on? Who's that? Shatanya 999. I see you. It's all good. International political science, philosophy, sociology, psychology, physiology, and things like that. That's Anti-Imperial. And the Chill is a hopeless romantic, all about falling in love, raising a family, and things like that. So that's what it is, you guys. Dogg, Anti-Imperial, the Chill. Jedi, I see you. Jedi Candido. What's going on? It's all good. You guys, this is Diversity Outspoken. We do this every Wednesday and every Sunday, 9 o'clock p.m. United States Eastern Time Zone. So every Wednesday, 9 o'clock p.m. United States Eastern Time Zone, and every Sunday, 9 o'clock p.m. United States Eastern Time Zone. We call this Diversity Outspoken because we speak about a diverse range of topics, meaning that we speak about anything and everything, and we are outspoken or straight to the point about those topics. You guys, here on Diversity Outspoken, we have one rule and one rule only, and that is that you guys remain respectful of the environment of Diversity Outspoken as a whole, and remain respectful of one another. We can agree, we can disagree, just remain respectful of the environment of Diversity Outspoken, and remain respectful of one another. I wouldn't want to block anybody while we're here, but I will if I have to. But I never have to do that with you guys, because you guys are always good and respectful, because we're all a big, good family, happy family here. Razel Poeta, what's going on, brethren? I see you. It's all good. For sure. You guys, every day I do a daily historical post. So if you want to see what happened on that particular day, going back decades, going back centuries, or even going back thousands of years, you guys can check out my daily historical posts. I put those on Instagram and on TikTok every single day. It's better on Instagram only because Instagram gives me the space to be able to be as detailed as I can for just for detailed purposes for the daily historical post, to explain the history of it in more detail. On Instagram, they give me more space, but I also put those on TikTok, so if you have me on TikTok, you'll see those also there. Brother Poeta, what's going on? It's all good. You guys can reach me on Instagram and TikTok at anti_imperial. It's kind of like what you see here on the t-shirt. This is a YouTube. The only difference between the YouTube and the Instagram and TikTok is the underscore. You guys know the underscore is that little line that goes down here at the bottom. Vic out here, I see you. What's going on, Vic? The little line that goes down here at the bottom called an underscore. So on Instagram and TikTok is at anti_imperial on Instagram and TikTok. On YouTube, as you see right here, it's just anti-imperial with a space in between. So on YouTube, it's a space in between. On Instagram and TikTok, there's an underscore. All right, YouTube, no underscore. Instagram and TikTok, there'll be an underscore. YouTube space, Instagram and TikTok underscore, and that's how that goes there. You guys, I appreciate everything, man. We're gonna get right into it. So, I had a bunch of people DM me from over there. You guys know I live in I'm based out of Asia and the Middle East. But you guys, I know I live over there in the United States and places like that. So I'm going to kind of I had a whole bunch of people DM me from over there in the U.S. about the coronavirus. Everybody's afraid about the coronavirus, and so I just wanted to hit a couple things. And I have so much information, but I don't want to make these too long. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do a Diversity Outspoken. I think I'm going to come on over the next few nights, actually, and I'll probably do like 3 or 4 nights in a row, I think, to get all this information out. But so we're going to start right today. I know it's nighttime for you guys, but it's daytime for me. Mota, I see you, Mota. What's going on? It's all good. But all right, so you guys, so the coronavirus, or what they call COVID-19, is what they're calling it. So you guys know that I do live over here in Asia and China. So I'm always either like in China and Asia, different parts of Asia, primarily China, or I'm in the Middle East, primarily like Egypt, Syria, Dubai, places like that. Primarily Egypt though. So those are the places that pretty much I do my music out of, and things like that. I spent some time in Brazil also sometimes, but Argentina, Chile sometimes, but mostly Asia and the Middle East, you guys. So I'm over here in China right now, actually. So this, what's going on, Erica? I see you. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, bien. It's all good. It's all good. How you doing, Mota? So over here in China, you guys, the first place that Chinese government officials, and for you guys who don't know, I've said it on here a few times, but you guys know that. Much love, Mota. Mwah. I said it on here a few times on Diversity Outspoken, you guys, but I do different. I have different careers. So one, of course, is music, but I do have other careers, you guys. And one of those other careers is I'm a political consultant for different governments just throughout different regions around the world. So I do political consulting. I've actually ran campaigns also for like different politicians in different areas of the world and things like that. So so I do have a lot of interaction with politicians and different governments just throughout different regions. So that's the reason why that's one of the reasons why I have usually early information and a lot of information about these things, kind of, but it is what it is. Everything comes out eventually, with the internet and things like that. Things come out pretty quickly these days. But so the first time that the Chinese officials over here discovered that people were getting sick was actually New Year's Eve. It was December 31st, 2019. And people started and let me just explain this also. So China's a huge nation, huge country. So you might be saying like, well, anti-imperial, like, aren't you scared? We're going Lives Leonard. I see you, Lives Leonard 67. You might be like, anti-imperial, aren't you scared of getting it, or aren't you scared of things like that? You got to understand, you guys, China's a huge country. So where this particular case of the coronavirus started to break out was like in the center of China. I live on the coast, like I live in a beach house. So I live on the ocean. So so I have a house on the beach. So I'm really far away from that. So you guys understand that. It's kind of like if it's kind of like if you had True, what's going on, True 5078? It's kind of like if something happened in for the United States. Let's say for the United States. Let's say if you lived in like Miami and something happened in like Oregon, then it really doesn't affect you at that point. The thing about it is now is that things are spreading fast over there because of people traveling and things like that. So that's different. But I just want you guys to kind of understand, I stay over here on the ocean. I'm not going to midland China, like mainland China over there, midland China, so the middle of China. So I'm not coming in contact with anybody over there. So, but anyway, that's just a side note. It's not about me. So anyway, so the Chinese officials, they started to discover that people were getting sick and had a dry cough that turned into a fever that would turn into pneumonia, and then some people would start to die. Now, I was going to get into more of this part right here in the second part of this, which I'll probably do tomorrow. But you might be asking why, because there's a lot of things going around about, okay, well, it's only old people dying, or it seems like it's only old people dying and things like that. So what's happening with this coronavirus is this. It affects different people differently. So if you already have like bad eating habits, if you already have like, if you're a smoker, if you already have like obesity, if you already have things like that, it's going to affect you in a much greater way. Therefore, older people usually have other ailments that they're dealing with. Older people usually have other things that they're being sick off of, and that's the reason why the COVID-19 or coronavirus is affecting older people. It seems like older people are dying more than the younger people and things like that. And that's why you're seeing that, because it attaches on to and really affects. What's going on, Superstar 617? I see you. What's going on, Domina? I see you, Domina. Veneni. It's all good. Veneni. Sorry if I mispronounced that. It's all good, but I love you, Domina. But you guys, so it's affecting older people in that way, and that's why you're seeing, or there's like the conception or misconception, I guess you could say in a lot of ways, that it's only attacking older people, or older people are the only ones starting to die from this type of thing, because it attaches on to other things that is going on with you. So if you're not eating well and things like that, it's going to affect you in a much greater way. Okay? That's how it's kind of happening. Now, why did it come from over here, right? Why did it come from where I am over here in Asia, over here in China? Why did it derive from over here? We're going to get to that, all right? And it derived from like Chinese food markets and things like that. All right, so this is nothing like kind of like new in a way, you guys, because in 2003, if you remember, we had the SARS virus. It's just like over there in the United States, you guys didn't think about it because it didn't really hit the United States that hard the way it hit Asia over here. So it wasn't really that prevalent, but the SARS virus was in 2003. It originated in Chinese food markets also, and it affected 29 different countries, and about 800 people died worldwide, right? So I think it was like 774 was the exact number of people that died from SARS. So that was 2003. So now we're dealing with 18 years later in 2020. You know, like I said, Chinese officials first started to notice people getting sick on New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2019. So now we're dealing with 2020, 18 years later, with the coronavirus or the COVID-19. And this is worse is not in a way, but it's worse because, like I said, the SARS affected 29 countries. The coronavirus affects so far it's affecting 71 countries. So from 29 countries for SARS in 2003, 71 countries now. What's going on? What's going on? Kiddo James, what's going on? What's going on? How you doing? So 29 countries 2003. Stupid brown boy, what's going on, man? Stupid brown boy, hope everything's going good, man, with your girlfriend. It's all good. Hope everything's going good. 2003, 29 countries with SARS. 2020 with the coronavirus, 17 countries are being affected so far, right? Also in SARS in 2003, like I said, it killed almost 800 people. Already with the coronavirus, it's killed thousands of people worldwide so far. Okay, so the coronavirus is like the SARS. It started the same way. It's just it's much more prevalent at this particular time. All right, and we're gonna get to why. So why over here? Why China over here where I am? Why Asia, right, where I live over here? Why did it start over here? Why did the SARS start over here? Why did the coronavirus or COVID-19 start over here? Well, two reasons basically. It's two reasons. The first reason is, you guys, is population. Okay? It's population. China is a huge country. You guys know we're the most populated country in the world, with India coming right behind us, right? But so we have over 1.4 billion people over here. 1.4 billion people over here. All right, we have over that. Now, I took that number down because I'm going to do some math, and I want everybody to be able to understand, so I tried to make it as easy as possible. But we have over 1.4 billion people. All right. Over there in the United States, you guys have over 300 million people. Again, I took it down a little bit just because I'm going to do the math to kind of make you guys understand what we're dealing with here. But you guys basically have 300 million people. We have basically 1.4 billion people. All right. Now, if you kind of want to put that into perspective of what that looks like. So for you guys to have 300 million people over there in the U.S., 300 million people is 300 million people. It's a lot of people. 300 million. Not 1 million, not 3 million, not 30 million, not 100 million, but 300 million people. That's a lot of people. Imagine if you had people want $1 million. Like a lot of people are like, man, I want $1 million. Man, if I had $3 million, if I had $50 million, right? If I had $75 million, but think about, you guys have 300 million people over there. 300 million. But check this out. For all the people you guys have over there, 300 million, for us over here, you guys, in China, we have 1.4 billion. And I understand when you think about decimals, you think about the point, whatever is really small. Because you think about, man, if somebody says, okay, that's a 0.4% of something, you're like, man, that's nothing. 0.4%, man, that's nothing. But check this out. Our 0.4 out of our 1.4 billion, our 0.4, before we even get to the 1 billion, don't worry about our 1 billion yet. Our 0.4 is 400 million. So you guys have 300 million in your whole country. Our 0.4, not even getting to our 1 billion. We haven't even gotten to the 1 billion yet. Our 0.4 is 100 million more people than what you guys have in your whole country. Think about that. America, United States, approximately 300 million. Like I said, I lowered it a little bit, just like I lowered the Chinese number a little bit, but they're the same comparison. Because it's the same thing. But for math purposes, it makes more sense for me to even it out. America, the United States, 300 million people. China, we have 1.4 billion. Our 0.4, before you even get to the billion, just our 0.4 is 400 million. You guys have 300 million. We have 100 million more people, just out of our 0.4, than you guys have in your whole country. Dougie Fresh, I see you. So think about that. In our 0.4, we have 100 million more people in our 0.4 than you guys have in your whole country. Then we have another billion people on top of that here. What's going on, KT? What's going on, KT? KT Shley 1013. It's all good. Sorry if I mispronounced it. Much love. Think about that. Y'all have 300 million. We have 1.4 billion. Our 0.4 is 100 million more people than you guys have in your whole country. Our 0.4. And then we have another 1 billion people on top of that. And within that 1 billion, you have 300 million. Another your whole country's population, 300 million. Another 300 million, that's 600 million. Another 300 million, that's 900 million. And then another 100 million on top of that to make a billion. What's going on, Ramadhan? So y'all have 300 million. We have 1.4 billion. What's going on, Sandy? I see you, Robbie Joe 305. So in our 0.4, we have 100 million more people over here in China than you guys have in the U.S. And then we have another billion people on top of that, which is another over three times your country. So over here, you guys, we have pretty much 5 times your country. Talking about the coronavirus, Lyles Leonard, how it started and why it started. So when you're talking about why did SARS in 2003, why did the coronavirus start in China? Think about how much in the United States you guys talk about economic inequality. Think about how much in the United States you guys talk about we need to help the poor. There's a lot of people in the U.S., we don't got food to eat. I hear that sometimes. Think about that. Y'all have those problems, right? People need help. People need help feeding their children sometimes. Things like that. I hear that sometimes from the U.S. Y'all have those problems with 300 million people. We have, just in our 0.4, not even counting our billion, just in our 0.4 of our 1.4 billion, just in our 0.4, that's 400 million. That's 100 million more people than you guys have in your whole country. Just in our 0.4, not even counting our billion. So if you guys have food problems and economic disparity and economic inequality in the U.S. that you guys complain about, imagine what we have over here in China. So if you guys have problems feeding your poor people in the U.S., imagine over here in China with so many more people. So guess what happened? So, since our population is so much cooler, no problem, Lyles Leonard, you already know, it's all good. I'm here for you, my brother. With so much, with us having such a bigger population, can you imagine? You guys have 300 million. Like I said, we have 1.4 billion, and our 0.4 is 400 million. You guys have 300 million. And our 0.4 is 100 million more than you guys have in your whole country. Now, 0.4, not even getting to our billion. Can you guys imagine if you had 1.4 billion in America? Y'all complain about economic inequality now. Y'all complain about it's hard for poor people to feed their families now. Imagine if y'all had our population over here. Y'all population of poor people would skyrocket to a point where y'all couldn't even understand or comprehend. Why would the amount of poor people skyrocket? Because, you guys, there's only so much money to go around. It's called scarcity. You guys know one of my degrees is in economics. It's called scarcity. It's the economic concept of everybody wants more, but there's only so much to go around. Everybody wants more. Poor people want more. They want to be rich. Rich people want more. Do you think rich people... Let me ask you this. Walmart makes a whole bunch of money. Do you think the CEOs of Walmart go into their board of directors meeting at the end of the fiscal year and they say, you know what, you guys? How can we find a way to not make as much money next year? We don't want to make as much money next year. No. The owners of Walmart, the CEO of Walmart, and the board of directors, when they go in for their end of the fiscal year meeting, they say, you guys, we made this year. What can we do to maximize our profits for next year? Everybody wants more. Poor people want to be rich. Poor people want more. Rich people want more. Doesn't matter that they're rich, they want more. But there's only so much money to go around. It's called scarcity. So imagine if the U.S., 300 million people, had our population over here in China, 1.4 billion people. And that 0.4 means 400 million people. That 0.4 is 100 million people above all the people you guys have in the U.S. And then we have another billion people on top of that. Imagine if you guys had that in the U.S. Your poor population would go up sky high. There'd be so much poor people, you guys wouldn't even know what to do with it. So why did this coronavirus, I was going to say carnivorous virus, coronavirus happen? COVID-19, people, how y'all doing? So population is one thing, right? So the Chinese government back in the 1970s, and in the 1970s, we were at 900 million at that point in time, I think it was 1974, 75, 76. We were at 900 million. In the 1970s, we were at in the 1970s, y'all have 300 million basically today. In the 1970s, we were still 3 times your entire country, you guys, in population in the 1970s. So what happened in the 1970s was the Chinese government came out and they were like, okay, you guys, we got a lot of people. And there ain't enough to go around for everybody. Scarcity, right? Like I said, called scarcity. Everybody wants more, but there's not enough to go around for everybody. Okay? So the Chinese government was like, all right, people, we got a whole bunch of people over here. And there ain't enough to go around for everybody. There ain't enough money for everybody. And since there ain't enough money for everybody, there ain't enough food for everybody. And we have these farmers. But they're not producing enough food for our people over here. Because we have so many people, they said. It's 1970s. They said, so what we're going to do is this. This was a huge mistake. But they're trying to feed their population. They said, what we're going to do is this. We're going to make it so that people can get more food, and people, the smaller people, the poorer people, can make more money. People were like, how y'all going to do that, Chinese government? And the Chinese, what's going on, Cherie? How you doing, Cherie? 7272. Now, how you going to do that? And the Chinese government was like, well, this is how we're going to do it. We are going to allow the smaller, poorer farmer, the smaller, poorer peasant to farm and be able to sell whatever food he can find to the people in his village, the people in his or her town, and things like that. Because before, the way it happened was that it's kind of like how it is in the U.S., right? So in the U.S., the way it happens is that we have the FDA, right? The way it happens over there in the U.S. is that we have the Food and Drug Administration. And the FDA says, okay, if Anti-Imperial comes out in the U.S., over there in the U.S., if I come out and say, I'm going to start selling chickens, I'm going to start selling chicken meat and steak and things like that in the grocery store, okay? So Anti-Imperial in the U.S., let's say if I was over there in the U.S., what's going on? Who's that? Jales, what's going on? Jales Mendez. If Anti-Imperial was over there in the U.S., right, and I wanted to start, Ashley Elizabeth, I see you, Ashley Elizabeth, if Anti-Imperial was in the U.S. and I wanted to start my own chicken beef business and put my beef and put my chicken in the grocery store, like when you guys go to the grocery store to get your beef, get your chicken and things like that. I wanted to start doing that in the U.S. Guess what? I can't just do it. There's a process I have to go through. And I have to be approved by the government through the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. They have to come to my farm where I am slaughtering my chickens and my cows and things like that. And they have to approve me and approve my meat before my meat can go in your grocery stores over there. That's how it works in the U.S. And that is the reason why you guys have like your meat super clean and things like that, because you guys have a select amount of farmers that are approved. Not everybody can be approved, you guys. So only the farmers who have the cleanest farms and things like that are the ones that can be approved. Not the man off the corner can just go start grabbing chickens and putting them in the grocery stores over there. Right? So since that happens, and over there in the U.S., you guys have approved farms through the government, you guys have much cleaner meat. But over here in China, since we have such a bigger population and a bunch of people that are out of work and things like that, and we don't have enough food to go around for everybody, the Chinese government said, what's going on, RAB? I see you. The Chinese government said, okay, guess what? The average man can go ahead and start to slaughter his own food and bring it to the markets and sell it in the grocery stores. And they don't have to go through over here, they don't have to go through a process of government approval. Because the farms over here in China that were already government approved before the government opened it up, to the regular people, The farms that were approved in China, they couldn't produce enough food to keep up with the population because our population is so much bigger than you guys. That's what I'm saying. You guys don't understand how much more people we have over here. The farms that we had that were government approved, they couldn't keep up with the demand of the meat that the people wanted over here because our population is 1.4 billion people. We have billions of people over here. You guys only have 300 million people. We have like 6 times the amount of people you guys have, we have. New York City is, I believe, the most populated city you guys have over there. That's 8.5 million people. New York City has basically 8 million people. New York City, 8.5 million. New York City, 8 million people. You know how much the average big city over here, how much we have over here in China? 20 million. That's not one city. That's the average. Because guess what? Shanghai has like 26 million. One city. So when you guys go to New York City, you're like, man, there's a lot of people here. It's so populated. Y'all have 8 million people. Y'all know how many cities we have over here that are around 18 million, 20 million, 21 million, 24 million, 26 million? We got like 8, 9 cities like that over here in China. So what happened was, the Chinese government was like, man, you know what? All these people over here that we have over here, people are starting to starve to death because we have too many people over. Our population's too big. This is where you guys ever heard about the whole thing about, oh, back in the days in China, you could only have one kid by law. They wouldn't even allow you to have more than one kid because you're dealing with a population that can't even afford to feed its people. Because there's too many people. There's only so many. You guys, you can only kill so many chickens in one day. You can only kill so many cows in one day. You can only kill. A pig isn't born and in one day a pig is fully grown. A cow isn't born and in one day a cow is fully grown the next day. So you can't even grow food. You can't grow meat fast enough to feed all the people over here. Like I said, in the U.S., you guys talk about income inequality. And some people, some people who are poor, like, what I'm saying, they have to eat, what I'm saying, like, it's hard for them to eat sometimes and things like that. Y'all have 300 million people and y'all dealing with income inequality. And sometimes it's hard for poor people to eat. Man, if y'all had 1.4 billion people, you know how many people wouldn't be eating? Woodstock, I see you, Woodstock, Scott. So, unfortunately, the wrong thing the Chinese government did, so what they did was they said, okay, you guys, our farms that are regulated, our farms that give us clean meat, they can't produce enough food for all the people that we need in China. We're having a food crisis. So then they said, the regular man, we're gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone. This is what the Chinese government said, right? Back in the 1970s. We're gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We're going to allow the regular man to be able to start to sell food in the grocery store, and he doesn't have to go through the regulation from the government. So like the FDA regulation that you guys have to go through over there, right? Your farms and stuff over there. And before something goes into the grocery store, it has to be approved by the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. Over here the Chinese government was like, don't worry about that. You guys just go out and sell whatever the hell you want to sell. But many grocery stores were like, okay, we'll take some, but we're not going to take all this stuff. So it started to go to outside markets called wet markets. So basically like the flea markets. So basically if you were walking to like a flea market in your city and there's a whole bunch of animals just in there in cages. That's basically what started to happen in the 1970s in China. Unregulated. No government involvement. Government not testing the animals, testing the meat, seeing if the meat's clean or anything like that. That's what started to happen. And yes, it started to feed more people, but now more people in China are being fed. You're starting to feed the population better, but now more people in China are being fed with bad meat. Meat that's not tested. Right? And guess what? Remember what I said before? When a chicken is born one day, a chicken doesn't grow to full strength. A chicken doesn't grow to full adult chickenhood in one day. Like if a chicken is born on Thursday, that chicken is not fully grown on Friday. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if a pig is born on Thursday, that pig is not fully grown on Friday. Like it's not fully grown in one day. If a cow is born on Thursday, that cow is not fully grown on Friday. So guess what started to happen? These small farmers, they were like, well, damn, you know what? There's so many people, the demand, right? Supply and demand, business, supply and demand. The demand is there that people need to keep eating because we have so many people over here in China. Our population is so high. So there's so many people that need to eat. But guess what? Cows don't grow fast enough to feed all the people. Pigs don't grow fast enough to feed all the people. Chickens don't grow fast enough to feed all the people on a daily basis. So guess what these little farmers that were not regulated by the government, guess what they started to do? Well, shit. If we can't grow the cows and the chickens and the pigs fast enough, but we'll just start selling other meat. We'll start selling snake meat. We'll start selling turtle meat. We'll start selling bear meat. We'll start selling tiger meat. We'll start selling bat meat. We'll start selling kangaroo meat. We'll start selling dog meat. We'll start selling cat meat. Because, hey, meat is meat. And the demand is there because people are hungry. And so now you have these markets, unregulated by the government. No FDA approval like it is in the U.S. All these different type of animals in these cages. And cages have, the square holes, right? Cages, not boxes, but cages that are open. Piled up on one another. And so, all these different animals piled up in these cages with the square openings on top, on the sides, and below. When these animals want to pee, it goes right through the cage. When these animals want to take a bowel movement, a SHIT, a BM, whatever you want to call it, it goes right through the cage. If these animals, while they were being caught and things like that out in the wild, they were injured or things like that, if they're bleeding, it goes right through the cage. If they have pus and stuff like that, it drips right through the cage. On to the other animals below. And now disease is starting to set in. But there's no government regulation. And what happens when you eat things that have diseases? We're biological creatures, you guys. We're living, breathing organisms just like animals. If it's in their system and we eat them, guess where it goes? It goes in our system. This is not new news, you guys. The flu, like the regular flu. The flu, like everybody, like, you know, every year people get like flu shots. Guess where the flu originated? In birds and pigs. That's where the flu comes from. Long, long time ago. HIV. Guess where they say it originated now? Chimpanzees. Ebola. Remember Ebola? Originated from bats. And the coronavirus, they say it may also come from a bat. So, I'm going to end it, right, soon. But just understand, people, just understand that there are many things to take out of this. One thing is, for all you guys who don't believe in government regulation, this is the Anti-Imperial coming out. You know, I got my degrees. You know, my degrees are, my master's degrees. You know, I have 2 double master's degrees. My master's degrees, I have 2 double masters, so it's like 4 master's degrees. And that's World History, Geographical Studies is the first double master's degrees. My second one is International Political Science and Economic Development. And I have a PhD, and my PhD is International Relations, International Affairs. So this is my anti-imperial education side coming out right now. For all you guys who don't like government regulation, I know a lot of conservatives and things like that. Much love to my conservative brothers. Y'all don't like government regulation and things like that. You have a society where the government's not regulating things, FDA, you know, a lot of times in politics, that's why you got to watch who you vote for. That's why voting is important. Y'all don't want to hear this part. That's why voting is important. For all you people that be like, oh, voting's not important, voting's not this. Oh, but then the person gets in the White House, or the person gets in government, and the person cuts funding to environmental protection. The person cuts funding to the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. The person's like, well, we don't got to worry about the environment and things like that. And they cut funding. And now things aren't regulated the way they used to be. Food's not regulated the way it used to be. So y'all over there in the U.S. need to take a look at over here in China, where how the government deregulated things. And when the government's not overseeing things and things are deregulated, people can do whatever they want to do. And then people just rush to get the buck. They don't care about the well-being of the people. All they care about is the mighty, mighty dollar. So for all y'all who hating on liberals and progressives and the environmental people and things like that, hey, this is what you get. Deregulation. Cut environmental protection. Cut environmental funding. This is what you get. Leave all hateful comments below. I really don't care. So, hey, I guess a group of people that I have to feel kind of sorry for if they get sick off of this coronavirus are like vegans and vegetarians. Because it was because of meat eaters, basically. And I'm a meat eater. I eat chicken. I love steak. Churrasco. But it's because of us meat eaters that these diseases are around like this. Okay. Pick it up next time, you guys. Like I said, man, I have so much information on this. I'm probably going to come on Diversity Outspoken like the next 4 days, I think. I think I'm just going to have to come on like the next 4 days or something like that, because I have so much information that I need to get out. You guys take care. I appreciate it. I am Dogg, Anti-Imperial to Chill, you guys. Love you guys. Dogg, Anti-Imperial to Chill. One name, 3 personalities. Dogg is kind of like a thug. He's a little bit gangster and things like that. Let me just put here, part 2. See where I left off at. I have so much information, you guys. Put here, so this will be part 2. I'll pick up here tomorrow. Part 2. I have so much. I have so many notes. All right, so we did part 1. I'll pick up part 2. I'll do a quick review tomorrow, and I'll pick up part 2. All right, so O-Dogg, Anti-Imperial to chill, you guys. O-Dogg is kind of like a thug. He's a little bit gangster, sexually explicit, but he's a clown, loves to just have fun and things like that, right? Loud Winner says, that's crazy, man. Yeah, the whole situation is crazy, man. The whole situation is crazy. I appreciate the thumbs up, Woodstock Scott. And Superstar 617 is like, ew, nasty. Thank God I don't eat Chinese food. It's all good, Superstar. I appreciate it. It's all good. But O-Dogg, Anti-Imperial to chill, you guys. O-Dogg's kind of like a little bit thug, a little bit gangster. He's a clown, silly. You know, he's sexually explicit sometimes, but he's a clown, likes to have fun and things like that. Anti-Imperial is more of who I truly am. Anti-Imperial is all about upliftment, education, international political science, micro and macroeconomics. What I said, politics, social issues, philosophy, psychology, sociology, physiology, and things like that. That is Anti-Imperial. And the chill is a hopeless romantic, all about falling in love and things like that. This is Diversity Outspoken. We do this every Wednesday and every Sunday at 9 o'clock p.m. United States Eastern Time Zone. So every Wednesday night, 9 o'clock p.m. United States Eastern Time Zone, and every Sunday night, 9 o'clock p.m. United States Eastern Time Zone. We call this Diversity Outspoken because we speak about a diverse range of topics, meaning that we speak about anything and everything, and we are outspoken or straight to the point about those topics. You guys, check out my daily historical posts every day, you guys, if you guys get a chance. I put those on Instagram and TikTok. If you guys want to see what happened on that particular day, just going back decades, going back centuries, or going back thousands of years, you guys can check out my daily historical posts. Here on Diversity Outspoken, we have one rule and one rule only, and that is that you guys remain respectful of the environment of Diversity Outspoken, and remain respectful of each other on Diversity Outspoken while you're here. We can agree, we can disagree, just remain respectful of the environment as a whole, and remain respectful of one another. I wouldn't want to block anybody here, but I will if I have to, but I never have to do that with you guys because we're all family here and we always respect one another. You guys can get in touch with me on Instagram and on TikTok. You guys can get in touch with me, you guys, at anti_imperial. It's kind of like what you guys see right here on the t-shirt, but this is YouTube. On Instagram and TikTok, it's at anti_. The little line that goes down here at the bottom. On Instagram and TikTok, it's at anti_imperial. On Instagram and TikTok. On YouTube, it's just anti-imperial with a space in between. So Instagram and TikTok, there's an underscore at anti_imperial. On YouTube, it's just anti-imperial with a space in between. If you have me on Instagram, the easiest way to subscribe to my YouTube, you guys, is to go to my Instagram bio page. You guys know on Instagram, we all get an Instagram or IG bio page. And on that Instagram or that IG bio page, we all get that one line for a link. And that one line for a link will always be my latest video. So if you have me on Instagram, go to my Instagram or my IG bio page, click that link, and when that video comes up, it will be a YouTube video. All you have to do is go ahead and hit the subscribe button right there when that video comes up, and I'd appreciate that. That being said, you guys, I will see you guys next time. Like I said, I'll probably be doing like 4 days in a row of Diversity Outspoken because I have so much information on this. So I will see you guys really, really soon, probably. But I appreciate you guys being here. You guys know I love you guys. Take care. Be safe. All right. Staying safe in good health and things like that. I will be seeing you guys really, really soon. You guys take care. All right. Take care. Peace. O-Dogg, Anti-Imperial, chill. Peace. Take care. Love you guys. Peace. Bye-bye.